Alright guys, Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Drama going down at the Los Angeles Thieves with HyDra, despite getting a massive bag, it seems, to play for this roster for the upcoming season, asking for more money from Nadeshot for various reasons. Nate's like, we've spent all the money we have. We absolutely need you guys to start delivering ASAP if we want to get some of this money back over the next couple of seasons. But also, with some Black Ops 3 Charles still going down, Kremp versus Drazah becomes a rather interesting debate, especially given their respective teams for the upcoming season. Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Ken having a great time, it seems, out there in Japan right now. So awesome to see. A couple of roster things. Firstly, this one, Vortex, of course, European Challenger side. Vortex is going to grind it out again for another year. Like, honestly, so commendable. I think these guys that have just been grinding through challenges for years, trying to get their opportunity. It's not arrived yet, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it never will. This is going to be his roster. Vortex, Cobra, aBeZy, and Super. So Cobra is one of those players that I thought probably should have got a spot this season. I will say I'm looking at the league for the upcoming year and looking at the players. There are barely any rookies in the league for this season, really. I think more will come in as this season goes on, but apart from Falcons, there's like barely anyone at all. It's Rencor on Miami, and that's like literally it. Now, some of the other guys have only had very brief stints, so, you know, we'll see what they can do over a longer time frame. But nonetheless, guys like Cobra, even, you know, Harry, or many other players really on some of the teams that they've played with recently could be in consideration, but for some reason, no. Cobra, I thought for some time was going to go to Minnesota Rocker. That seemed likely. Then there was also talk about Surge because of the relationship there with aBeZy. That could have been possible. Never happens. So, you know, unfortunate for him, I suppose. aBeZy, of course, is going to go back down to Challengers after getting dropped effectively by Surge. And then Super, a player that I am surprised isn't getting a chance on Miami, to be honest. I thought they would have got both Super and Rencor, the two best Spanish players in Challengers last season, and tried to find a way to make it work. Doesn't seem like they're going to do that. But, you know, just interesting that there are just so few rookies in the league this year that it's a bit concerning, I'm not going to lie, in terms of the future talent pipeline for this league right now. I think there will be more as time goes on, but you know, it is a bit of a concern, I think, for the entire community in terms of, are the next up players even out there somewhere? And because last year we didn't have a strong rookie class, this year it doesn't seem like we're going to have a strong rookie class, even though for every year for the preceding 10 we've had a pretty damn strong rookie class. So maybe that's just a brief lull, but nonetheless it's something that is worth considering if you were the commissioner of the league, trying to figure out whether there are some, you know, whether we can resolve this in some way. But obviously one of those things far easier said than done that potentially takes years to actually execute on. This was kind of nice as well that they're looking to run for, you know, the FizzIp Memorial. They've done this most years since FizzIp's passing, a Search and Destroy tournament. So I know John reposted it, so hopefully that goes somewhere as well. But let's talk about a little bit of drama here I thought was kind of interesting. Drazah says nothing but heads. Pause, right? Like he said, the reply is nothing but what? But yeah, here he is at the range. However, he was also on the, well, not the firing range, because they didn't have the firing range in Black Ops 3, but he was playing some Chals as ever. Basically every day I wake up and I start researching the videos and I throw the Black Ops 3 Chals on the other video or the other monitor, just while Drazah and Dashy and everything, they're all streaming it today. So anyway, this was a Chal they played. Presaged, Dashy and Kremp were one team, Cap, Tej and Drazah on the other. I didn't watch every single map. I feel like Drazah's team generally got the better of them. I don't know. Drazah just doesn't really lose Chals. That's kind of like the way that it goes, generally speaking. But it's interesting, like these are another couple of names, right? Capsadil, is he going to get a spot anywhere? I'm looking down the SMGs in the league, and some of the teams that have SMG duos of, like, you know, Linz and Kismet, I guess might be okay. I mentioned Kremp and Mac earlier today. I don't necessarily like that so much. And even like Nero Estriel on potentially a weaker Rocket team than people might, you know, people have them towards the bottom of the league, but that's kind of a nice SMG duo maybe. Capsadil is an option somewhere, you would think, but not one in consideration it seems right now. But Kremp he's going to the Cloud9 roster, Cloud9 New York, whatever it's going to be. That we'd believe it's basically a done deal, and I think he's been making it quite clear actually on stream, because Kremp on his M8 and on his Cuda had the Cloud9 camo. Now, there is clearly something in this, but my point was that the Cloud9 camo is like the best, one of the best camos on this game. And also, just to do a bit more Black Ops 3 glazing, because I can't help myself, back in the day, you would pay whatever it was, like a tenner or something, for the entire selection of camos for every weapon for every team in that region. So back in Black Ops 3, there was the North America pack, the Europe pack, and the APAC pack, basically, where you would get all the camos for every gun in the game you could use them on for, whatever the money was, and you get it for every single team. And they weren't, stunning in the sense that they were basically the same kind of design with the different colors and the different logo, but it did have the logo on it. It wasn't like the ones they did over the last few years when there's no logo on them. They've started to do it again now, but, like Cold War camos and stuff, it was just the color, wasn't it? Like the colors and the shapes they put on, and the FaZe one looked like the Thieves one, like it was a nightmare. Whereas back in the day, they used to do it properly, and the Cloud9 one was arguably the nicest, or one of the nicest. I used to use this a fair bit back in the day, not gonna lie. So maybe Kremp just likes the camo, or more likely, he's going to Cloud9. He had it on both of his things as well. However, in this specific screenshot, it's Game 5, Round 11, 1 versus 1, Kremp versus Drazah, and, well, Kremp takes his time a bit too much, and he loses the round. Drazah shoots him in the back, and then, in the chat on the left-hand side, Drazah says the following, or he goes by Le Drazah, just Kremp, we good. And Drazah loves to talk loads of trash, and it is very entertaining, right? In all of these chats, Drazah is often typing something or other in the chat, and the implication here is that his teammates told him, oh, it's Kremp, 1v1 against Kremp, and Drazah's like, no problem, I got this handled, right? And of course he does eventually win the 1 versus 1. So yeah, it's interesting what the players think of their rivals, right? Because Drazah's going to talk trash on anyone. It doesn't matter who's in the lobby on the other team. If Drazah's playing against him and he gets a nice clutch, he's going to type something in the chat. That's just what he does. And maybe these guys rate Kremp quite highly, but we know that Kremp, of course, he is an interesting character. Very talented on his day, quite inconsistent, and decision-making isn't necessarily a forte in the game. And that's why you get some questions on this Cloud9 roster, whether it's going to work out so well. Of course, yeah, Kremp did a good job on Thieves at the end of the season, but Drazah took him down in the grand finals there at the World Cup, right, when FaZe took down the Los Angeles Thieves. So, just an interesting little bit of storyline to note there going into the new season. Will Cloud9 be able to be in a position to really compete with Thieves, or compete with FaZe, sorry? That is another question. Dashy was also streaming it. But I also wanted to share this clip for you guys where Nadeshot is talking with HyDra on what's going on. They're talking about Valorant, maybe getting a bit of a hard carry, because we know that HyDra plays Valorant. Guys like HyDra are just kind of bonkers in terms of how good they are, right? Like, HyDra can pick up any game. There's a few players like that in the league. There's actually quite a few, I would say. Some of them don't have, like, they're incredibly good at COD, but they can't just pick up a keyboard and mouse and be, like, phenomenal. Whereas HyDra can, Dashy can, even I think, like, Rated back in the day, he just decided to start playing CS one day and was global within like a couple of weeks. Like, some of these guys just have God-given FPS talent, I suppose, or whatever input device it is. HyDra's one of those guys, and Skyz obviously is playing Val as well. That is the duo, despite the fact that they're not going to be on the same team any longer. But Nadeshot was asked the question by HyDra, like, hey, can I maybe get a bit of money in the bank here? I need some extra cash, Nate. I gotta hit up the Louis Vuitton store like Scrappy did, my boy, the other day, and start revamping the wardrobe. But Nadeshot's like, look, I ran out of money, brother. Like, I paid you guys all the money for the buyout. I paid some serious cash to Cloud9 to get you off that team. I paid some serious cash to Toronto to get Scrap and Envoy on that team. And I had to pay some serious cash in terms of salaries because Gentle Mates were coming in and they were taking it serious and they were trying to get you guys instead. So I had to step up the salaries to make it work. And then HyDra has the cheek to ask for a bonus anyway.
If I get you to Immortal, I need a 20K bonus.
Oh, you got all the money we got, so there ain't no bonuses, there ain't nothing, brother. What you see is what you get.
Okay, damn, bro.
You're pulling up to shoots before we even start paying you with Louis Vuitton shoes, Dior shoes, bro. I know you're doing just fine.
But those were like the Dior shoes. Wait, Louis Vuitton shoes, I don't even have any.
Yeah, I got
the Dior shoes at the team once. We bought all of the New York Subliners bought those.
Did the org buy them for you, or did you guys buy them for yourselves?
Buy them for ourselves, but we had to. I couldn't say no. Like, all of the team, we bought them to like have like, I don't know, like a team shoes or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but like normally if you're gonna do team shoes, the org like buys them for you.
I mean, if you want, hey, you can always buy me shoes.
No, we don't do that here.
So I've got to say, this season is going to be highly entertaining in terms of the personalities and the characters. It's great as well that when you finally see great entertaining players get to organizations that will bring that out of them a little bit more. Like Toronto did a good job with the content and stuff, and we did get to see Scrappy's personality on Toronto. They also did their, I wouldn't call it game chat, I forget what they call it, right? But you know, the OpTic game chat, they sit down with it for OpTic guys, they do a bit of a podcast for like 45 minutes discussing the last weekend of games. Ultra started to do that. You started to get a bit more of that out of Scrappy. But when you get the likes of Scrappy joining Thieves, they are going to take content, that type of content, to the next level. And the same is true for a guy like HyDra. He doesn't stream that much. He doesn't need to, because if he does, he gets loads of viewers because he's phenomenal at the game. And also, he's making a fair amount of change anyway. And also, I think HyDra's perspective has been, there's certainly been rumors about this, that HyDra doesn't want to stream COD because he feels like he's going to give away secrets, right? He feels like watching his POV would be too much of an advantage for another, you know, like a rival. I kind of get that on some level, and he wants to win world championships at the end of the day. But the idea of HyDra joining Thieves and Nadeshot's organization, we are going to see more of that very entertaining personality. I think it's going to be a great year from that angle as well. Nadeshot smashes the headset as well. He got annoyed at Valorant. Don't blame him. Frustrating game at the best of times. But speaking of the Los Angeles Thieves, thought this was pretty interesting really to look at how after losing their World Championship roster, most people have gone on to do quite a good thing out of it, right? Octane, of course, retired and has had his best content year, obviously. Kenny's now won 2 championships, including champs. Drazah's won 2 events, including EWC. Envoy won an event with Toronto. Like, had they stayed together, how different would things have been? It's tough to say, but you know, even worked out for the guys on Thieves. Sure, didn't work out in the long run in the sense that they've been dropped, but you know, they obviously had a good career year. Certainly after their second place at EWC wasn't bad for the pockets, and Ghosty now gets his second year alongside a God Squad. So yeah, it's just a fascinating development on this Los Angeles Thieves team. I'd very much interested your thoughts as ever in the comments below. Just one final thing, this is the tier list that we put together on our Dope Check show, and well, there is a couple of updates here in the sense that the team we put together for the Rocker, there's an update there. We think it's Nero instead of Hook. We don't actually know who it's going to be as the 4th on the Ravens, but I feel like we did a pretty reasonable job. Like, Falcons are in their own tier. I did just want to say, you know, Clowns in charge, it sounds quite harsh. It's mainly because I was just trying to find something to begin with S, A, B, C, and F, right? So, you know, whatever it is, it's just for content. And I was less interested in the tiers and more interested in just the order. Like, I was trying to come up with 1 through 12. And maybe we can discuss this more the other day, but I'll leave it there for now just to spark a little bit of imagination. But very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Well, there was a smoke screen about Hixie from someone at Ultra, trying to make people think they were going for Hixie at the same time.
Oh.
I don't know if that's to do with, like, because of the buyout, they didn't want it out. Well, obviously it didn't work. It got out. And then someone said this deal fell apart because the parent companies of both orgs don't get on. They're big rivals in Spain.
Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting.
So, like, Miami were never really going to sell to them unless it was insane.
Yeah, because it's what Mad Lions, right? Who are part of
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then Mad Lions and Heretics are rivals. Okay, it makes sense actually.
Bro, how
Kind of
how
funny they
petty are
sprung him along though. What?
Poor
Yeah,
guy.
how petty is this,
Yeah,
bro? This is so
that's-
petty.
That's fucking good work.
That's good work.
That's good work.